Hello, hello, hello! Today I have a very epic game for you that will most certainly blow your mind. It is one where I play my favorite tribe, the cool Polaris, against my nemesis, Samanti. And you may remember this video here, in which I was at the other end of this matchup, and it was a very cool game with some serious tactical twists. Now, this game here is on a large map, which allowed for more late game strategies, which is a good switch up. In this game, you will experience the struggle against a full-powered Samanti player, tactical ice placement and braking, economy versus unit balance, and funny mindbender plays. Now before I forget, a majority of people who watch my videos are subscribers to my channel, and I would appreciate it if you consider it as well. Now without further rambling, let's free some bugs. So let's take a look at this game, shall we? We are playing, as I said before, we are playing Polaris, and my opponent spawned here, and they are playing Samanti. And this is quite an interesting setup. Let's take a look at the map here real quick. Replay fog off. We have basically two very large continents, and there's one small continent over here, but there's only just a couple of islands in the middle, and these are going to be very important because if Samanti can bridge over here, they can basically attack us from into the mainland, and if I can get control over all of these and keep control over all of these, that means that I can basically, well, make sure that my opponent can't do anything. But you will get to see how all of this plays out, because it is not as easy as I try to explain it here. And make sure that you follow this game, because, well, there's some interesting stuff going on. So let's now see what happens. Okay, so we do quite some standard stuff. Nothing too spectacular here. Just going to let that run for the first couple of turns. We get organization, of course. That is the better choice here because we have parallel resources so that we can upgrade our cities. And so we do. Quite an exceptional tactic, you might say. Also, this city name is exactly how I'm feeling currently. A lot of stress because, well, last semester, senior project, thesis writing and such. A lot of papers. It's fine. It's fine. I'll get through it. Okay. I told the thing to not focus on the opponent. Let's do this. That really helps. Cool. We get writing here just to speed up our expansion a bit. May have been a mistake to get that already, because we can now already see that we should upgrade this city instead. May have been better to get hunting instead. That would have allowed us to upgrade this city. And this one as well, just a tad bit better maybe. It really depends on what you want to do. I wanted to explore and just expand, so arguably one of these choices would have been better, but that's fine. We see our first ruin over here. It's on the mountain. That's fine. Mountain ruins, sure, we can go there. See another ruin here on the water, and we now start expanding quite rapidly, even though our economy is hurting. That is the main issue with Polaris, is that they're just so incredibly slow to pick up steam. And that's exactly like the thing that you need to worry about, especially when playing against Samanti, is if you know that you are, well, not economically developed, they can basically destroy all of your army in a couple of turns, and then you just lose. So we need to be very careful here. Make sure that we can get all the advantage that we need, and this Star Rune is exactly what we need to boost up our economy and to make sure that we can win. Get the resources, get forestry. Forestry is interesting. It's still one of the most underrated. Well, it depends how you look at it. It used to be so incredibly OP that people say, yeah, it's super overpowered. And that is true. It was very strong, but now people just tend to ignore it, and it's still a pretty strong technology because it just allows you to chop resources that you normally wouldn't need and to convert that into stars. That's just great. That's just gravy. This warrior, I made it on to get this lighthouse here, but it also allowed me to find this ruin, which is, in my opinion, very funny, because that is exactly what I wanted it to. Sometimes you just get what you want. Okay, I do something very silly here. I thought that there was, yeah, because there's like this not so deep water tile here, and there's a lot of not so deep water tiles over here. I thought, you know, maybe there should be like a land connection over here, and otherwise this Mooney is probably going over there, so let's just get an explorer. And this is what I get for taking an explorer on a city that doesn't need an explorer. It's just not going to do anything. We get meditation here, and also look at this tech tree. It is so green. That is one of the things that I like about larger maps. You get to pick and choose a lot of technologies, especially when playing Polaris, because a lot of things just make sense, right? Ice archers are very strong. Forestry allows you to get a good economy. Polarism doesn't need an explanation. Polar warfare can be good, especially if you are up against a tribe that doesn't get onto the water that easily. Especially Samanti is not good at getting onto the water like that. Since, well, if they place algae here, the starfish is gone. Which is an interesting mechanic. So, yeah, it's very weird that we get to get a lot of technologies early on. And that is part of the reason why this game turned out the way it did. Because we were focusing a lot on technology and upgrading early on, but we didn't get to develop an army. As you can see, this is not what you would normally see in a competitive 1v1 game. And I have to pay for it, because this is the turn where we get attacked. But we can freeze stuff and stall. That's a strategy. So remember the talk I gave about the villages on the water? Well, this one is the most important, because it is the connecting factor between the two continents. It is going to, well, be under siege a lot of the time, because if my opponent can get control, it is basically over. Samanti is very good at forcing through units, because, well, they don't get movement bonus penalties for moving past your units. So that is extremely dangerous, and we can't allow them to take this village, at least not yet, because we need it to, one, get an explorer into their direction, and two, to, well, make sure that they don't get all the advantage that we need. So yeah, we get to freeze that guy, at least stall and maybe get it in the next turn, and we still want to build up our economy, so we go for these starfish. And yeah, they are just moving in with these Reichi, man. We also see their border over here, which means that not only did they find a way to put pressure on the central city, well, village for now, but they also managed to, well, get here some kind of continent over here, which is very worrying to me because there's no way for me to combat Samanti at this stage of the game, because I was focusing very much on like getting all of these technologies and getting rich so that I can win in the later parts of the game. And now we see here that there is this continent, and we also see this guy over here, and it's boosted and it's very angry, so I tried getting very cute, and I think that that was somewhere this turn. I got philosophy, and philosophy is hilarious with Polaris because it allows you to freeze your enemy's units and then convert them with a mindbender. That was way too much fun I was trying to have. After all of the bullshit I managed to get myself into in the last couple of games, I was trying to find a way to be funny. And this was not the right moment to do it, because Samanti is still a menace. And we see now that they have practically a land connection here. And we need to find a way to battle them somehow, or at least manage to break this pressure, which we can't at the moment. We just can't. Okay, so here's what I tried to do. I tried to get this Mooney over here with a mindbender, and then from there I was trying to do a funny. And there's one thing you need to know about trying to be funny. If you try to be funny, the result will not be funny. And in this case, it meant that I was going to get wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. These stupid guys, these silly goobers, they are going to absolutely destroy you for the couple of turns that are about to happen. And that's fine. You know, it's fine because all my army is just straight over here and it's not going to matter. And bye bye all of my units. Now I need to find a way to, well, not get wrecked. Finally we do get this central village, but we also see that we're up against a lot of stuff. And this is something that you need to know about this matchup. You do not want to fight Samanti with a lot of ice on the water if you can't beat them. And that's exactly what's going on here. So, yeah, we are screwed. We are so completely screwed, and we didn't even know it. So, the first plan to tackle our Samanti problem here is break that frickin' ice, because it is going to get us destroyed. We don't want to allow them to just get over here. And here is also another part to the strategy. We want to find a way to flank them so that we can relieve the pressure from this central city, because we can't defend this. It is such a large army, and at this point in time I really thought that I was not going to win this game. So I really needed to, well, up my game, as the kids would say it nowadays. But I also wanted to get an explorer here before I was going to give up. And here we see what is waiting for us is a lot of units. And we do not have a lot of units. So yeah, we are in a predicament. So the first thing I'm going to do is just not worry about it. That's a genius strategy that oftentimes leads to disappointment. But that's fine, that's fine. At least we get a Gami. For now, that is enough. That's all I need. It's a perfect game of stalling. Except for the fact that I was going to lose the central city, which we couldn't afford to lose. Which was quite unfortunate. We need to keep control over the ice and such, so that we don't just instantly lose. And this was one of the moves. Just move over here, make sure that the centipedes can't pass, and we need to stall this so that they don't just instantly win. Stall tactics. And here I do something interesting. Look at this tech tree, it's so green. I get trade, and if you watch the game that I played against, well, it basically was the other way around. Like, I was playing Samanti and I was playing against Polaris. It was the other way around, and I was kind of nervous to do this move, but I wanted to, well, get this ice bank going. If I can survive for long enough so that this ice bank can basically overpower the economy my opponent has, then maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to, well, at least win somewhat. So that's the plan for now. Just stall, 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 and maybe find a way to destroy them? I don't know, maybe? It is looking very bad. It is looking so bad. This is honestly the moment at which I should have given up, but just that's not something I like doing. Especially not when I am dedicating a lot of time, because this game took a lot of time, man. It was super close and I didn't want to lose it, so I was like, I need to get my head in the game, and this one night is my absolute savior, because it allowed me to, well, freeze the most important units that were sieging my cities, and also managed to find a way to break through. And it was not ideal, but we did get a Gami now, which is going to get absolutely destroyed. But at least we know, with the backup of the ice bank, we have something that my opponent doesn't know, and that is very much knowledge about the game. And the weak spot of Samanti, as I explained in one of my many videos about playing against Samanti, is if they find a way to just be strong, just make more units than them. It is a brainless strategy that usually works, and we're going to put it to the test. Just start spamming riders, because, well, if they can't kill him, we can kill them. That was the philosophy here. And this Gami, yeah, it's done for. It is done for. At least we managed to freeze a lot of stuff, right? And we can unsiege. Can we? No, we cannot. I'm lying! I'm very good at lying, if you haven't noticed already. Okay, so yeah, we still try to stall them because this is not ideal. At least we still have control over the city, so that's very nice. But we still don't have enough of an army to actually fight them, although we are starting to work towards that. right? Just start building a lot of riders and some knights. Yep. I don't know if I can beat this. They started working towards the Hutbon strategy. Just look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's so silly. Such a silly goober. And I think that this is one of the main points of the game, right? This is the point at which I start to develop my army. And I actually try to fight back. Because all of my cities are just under so much pressure. It is time to, well, do the inverse. Just put the pressure on them. See if they like it. If you like them apples. Also, because of the way that the destroy ability is now in the chivalry tech, that allowed me to break this algae bridge here. Which is something that I completely didn't think about. And that's such a great move here. Because it just relieves all of the pressure from the city. And that allows me to just go ahead and stall some more. Bonk. And bonk. Here we go with the good strategy part. Oh yeah. Until we found out that we couldn't keep the city. Yeah. So, still under a lot of pressure, but we are building up an army. That's how I would summarize this this situation. Not great, but we're getting somewhere. Also, this Gami, it's dead. It is so incredibly dead. Yep. So that was all of my Gamis. Now I need to rely on riders, sleds, and knights. And here and there some ice archers. Which is not an ideal situation, I would say, especially if you're up against a lot of units that are marginally stronger than the ones you have. But if you look at this, we are making gains here. We are actively working towards sieging the city, which would mean that we have control over this complete continent. And with that, we might be able to funnel some of our units this way, make some ice bridges here, and start pressuring the not only the shaman, but also the capital of my opponent here. And even though we have been having the advantage for basically the entire game, if we look at the amount of cities, my opponent is playing Samanti. Man, Samanti is super strong and super annoying, but if you manage to like get a grip on the game, you can work against them, you know? I should try to be more positive in my gameplay videos. I'm usually quite negative, but a lot of that is just because I want to be real with you guys and not just be like, oh yeah, I'm so good at the game and I can win every time. And it's just not true, man. I have to struggle against some of these tribes, and not all of that is because of me being bad. It's just there's also some luck involved with this game. That's fine. I love the game for that. It's not just skill, it's not like chess. But it's also not like roulette. It's just a good combination of strategy and luck. That's exactly what I enjoy. But look at this. My opponent here has lost complete control over this continent now. And they have found out that we are working towards a very much army-based approach to fighting them. Because we have the upper hand. If we look at this economy, 39 stars versus 54. So That's quite the difference. Even though their cities are higher level, we can put pressure on them. And especially the combination of knights and riders are just great for this situation. And as you can see, we are now trying to make some pressure from this side. And this is the point at which my opponent's defense is going to start crumbling. Because now we are putting pressure on them. And that is the moment at which I finally pop the border growth here. Because we now have a decently large amount of riders present in the area that we can not only put pressure on this city over here, which we just want to take back, but we can also start flanking them. And if you can overwhelm Symanti with units from multiple sides, you should be plenty good. And not only from here, but also from this side. And now we have an attack that is going from 3 sides, and we can now basically start throwing units at them. That's the technical term. Finally get another Gami. That Gami is going to do absolutely nothing. Gamis are super weak against them. And you see, they can kill a rider or 2, or maybe 3 or so, every turn, but we can produce way more than they can kill. And that is a strategy tip that has been, well, in my mind for a long time. If you can produce more units than your opponent can kill, you are going to win the game. So looking at this, we are creating so many units, and we're just spamming them all over the way. And then my upstairs neighbor started singing. I hope that you guys don't hear that, because that would be embarrassing for him. Super cool and all, but no thanks. Let's continue. Okay, that was kind of a waste for a night, but I just started being aggressive, and they probably did not see that coming, especially with all of these riders. There's just no way for them to keep up with this. Look at that. How we managed to just crank up the pressure so much over the span of like a couple of turns. That's just amazing to me. And that's exactly what I like about playing Polaris. It's my favorite tribe for a reason, man. It's just, it has so much, well, potential to get back into the game. Even though we were losing and getting our city sieged all over the place, because we have such a versatile army that can, well, do what it's supposed to do, we can crank up the pressure. And that is exactly what you need to do against Symanti late game. And now we are attacking from a lot of sides, and they can't stop us because Symanti's not made to do that. Symanti is made to attack, not to defend. And my tip for this player would have been to get kit-ons and just spam diplomacy, because nothing is good against diplomacy. There's no tribe that is actively good against it. If you take a look at that, this cloak, it's going to spawn a lot of units, right? And my plan was also initially to just go diplomacy, but then I saw that they were just spamming powerful units. And then my plan shifted into, what if I just spam riders? And if they can't do anything about them, they are just going to lose. So really, you need to think about what your opponent is doing and then find a way to be better at the game. In all honesty though, this player was not a bad player at all. I'm not blasting them for it. And in all fairness, they chose a challenge, man. Playing Samanti on continents, especially such a large continent map, that is very, very hard. And I'm just very glad that I got to play against them. Because I got such a great, well, back and forth of sieging cities and taking back and putting pressure and land bridges and a lot of game mechanics that usually don't get into these games, I got to show them off, which made me quite happy. Super cool. Yeah, I'm just going to let this rattle on because I think that my opponent got very upset with me that I found the key to success by just spamming riders, and also I got to do a funny here. But yeah, peeps, if you're watching this still, congratulations, you're a very good watcher and I love you. As much as I can without making you uncomfortable, of course. Also, a lot of people who watch my videos are subscribed. So, if you watch to this part and you are not subscribed, what's wrong with you? No, just kidding, just kidding. Totally fair. You can just see if you like my videos, and if you do, just make sure that you subscribe, because, well, that's going to allow you to be better at the game. Get some strategy tips, and maybe even get to play against me. And yeah, that is basically it. So, how about you guys? How are you doing? Are you enjoying your time here? Are you winning all of your Polytopia games? Did you join Poly Champions yet? If not, make sure to check it out. It's pretty great. Man, this army looks so intimidating. Well, that was the game. See if I can still check the results. Oh, nope, apparently not. You can't check the results. That's unfortunate. But I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you learned something and had some fun, you know? I get blasted in my comments for being too serious and that I am toxic. Well, I am toxic. I'm just honest about the game, man. It's just, sometimes it just hurts to watch yourself get absolutely roasted for no reason. It's just a game, and I want to be and I want to have fun, but sometimes the game doesn't allow me to have fun. That's the difference, right? No, I love the game, but sometimes I have to be honest with you guys and just complain, because it's not all just rose. What do they call it again? Rose scent and moonshine. But that's an expression they don't use internationally. That's just something, I guess. So that was it for today. I hope you'll enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.